Edwin Carlos Eddie Colón is a Puerto Rican and Canadian professional wrestler. He is currently signed by WWE Wrestling as Diego. Previously in WWE, he competed as Primo. He is the son of Carlos Colón Sr and the younger brother of wrestlers Stacy and Carly Colón, better known as Carlito in WWE. He began wrestling in the World Wrestling Council, where he won the WWC Universal Heavyweight Championship 5 times, as well as numerous secondary and tertiary titles. In 2007, Colón signed a developmental contract with WWE, being assigned to Florida Championship Wrestling. In this promotion he was teamed with Eric Pérez copyright res, forming a tag team known as the Puerto Rican Nightmares. On February 23, 2008, they became the first wrestlers to hold the FCW Florida Tag Team Championship. Upon being promoted to the main brand, he was teamed with his brother. Subsequently, the Colóns became the first team to hold the WWE Tag Team Championship and World Tag Team Championship at the same time, making them the first unified WWE Tag Team Champions. Personal life: Colón is the son of retired wrestler Carlos Colón Sr and the third youngest of 4 siblings, including Carly Colón and Stacy Colón, both of whom have performed with Colón in the World Wrestling Council. A second sister, Melissa, did not enter the wrestling business. Other members of Colón's family have also been involved in the World Wrestling Council, including his uncle Jose copyright Colón and cousin Orlando Colón, who have been involved in several angles within the company. Wrestling career World Wrestling Council Colón debuted on 1999, wrestling in the cruiserweight division. He won the first title on February 10, 2001, when he defeated Damian Steele for the WWC World Junior Heavyweight Championship. His feud with Steele continued for a month, during which he dropped and recovered the title on March 10, 2001. He feuded over the title for 6 months, losing and winning it once. By autumn, Colón was involved in a storyline involving Justin Sane, continuing a similar pattern. In early 2002, Colón was involved in a storyline with Rey Mysterio, Jr., who defeated Colón for the title on January 6, 2002. Mysterio held the title for 2 months before dropping it back on April 6, 2002, which marked Colón's final junior championship reign. Following a feud with Kid Cash, the belt was held up and Colón ascended to the heavyweight division. Shortly after Carly Colón signed with WWE, a tournament was organized to determine the new champion. Colón was considered an early favorite and reached the final, but lost. Colón then entered a feud with El Diamante over the WWC Puerto Rico Heavyweight Championship. In late 2004, Colón was involved in a battle royal for the first contender's position. 1 week later on November 6, 2004, Colón defeated El Bronco and won the Universal Heavyweight Championship for the first time in his career. He then entered a feud with El Diamante, eventually dropping the title to him. In late 2006, Colón signed a developmental contract with WWE. On July 31, 2005, he formed a tag team with his father as part of the Funkin' Conservatory's television show, Bang!, competing against Dory Funk, Jr. and Johnny Magnum. The team was victorious, winning the promotion's television tag team championship. On March 5, 2006 he participated in WCW Saturday Night Tribute Show World Wrestling Legends 605 The Reunion when he faced Vampiro. Colón wrestled Christian at Aniversario 2007, the World Wrestling Council's anniversary event that took place in the Jose copyright Miguel Agrelot Coliseum on July 13, 2007. The result of the match was a double count-out disqualification. He occasionally returns home to train and get better with his cousin Pico and his brother Carlito Colón. World Wrestling Entertainment WWE On May 7, 2007, Colón had a closed-door workout match before the Raw television tapings where he was evaluated by the personnel responsible for talent management. On May 8, 2007, Colón then participated in a dark match before that night's SmackDown television tapings, where he defeated Shannon Moore. Florida Championship Wrestling. On January 26, 2008, Colón then made his Florida Championship Wrestling debut, defeating Sean Osborne. On February 23, Colón then and Eric Pérez, collectively known as the Puerto Rican Nightmares, defeated Steve Lewington and Heath Miller in a tournament final to become the inaugural FCW Florida Tag Team Champions. The team lost the title to Brad Allen and Nick Nemeth on March 23, 2008, before winning them back via disqualification on April 15, 2008. They lost the title to Drew McIntyre and Stu Sanders on May 6, 2008. On July 17, Colón then and Perez reclaimed the title by defeating McIntyre and Sanders. On August 16, Colón then and Perez lost the title to Nemeth and Gavin Spears. The Colón Den's. On August 18, 2008, Colón then made his WWE debut on the Raw brand under the ring name Primo Colón, and was involved in a backstage segment with the brand's general manager, Mike Adam, talking about his dislike for his brother Carlito's attitude and how he was nothing like him. His in-ring wrestling debut on the Raw brand took place on August 25, 2008, when he defeated Charlie Haas, dressed as Carlito and named Charlito, in singles competition. After only one match on Raw, Colón then was moved to the SmackDown brand where his animosity for his brother was dropped and they formed a tag team. On September 12, he debuted and teamed with his brother, Carlito, to defeat WWE Tag Team Champions Curt Hawkins and Zack Ryder in a non-title match. 2 weeks later, both teams competed in a title rematch, with the Colón Den's winning to become Tag Team Champions. Subsequently, Carlito and Primo entered a feud with World Tag Team Champions John Morrison and The Miz. On the WrestleMania XXV pre-show, the Colón Den's defeated Miz and Morrison in a tag team unification match, becoming the first team to hold the newly dubbed Unified WWE Tag Team Championship. On April 6, 2009, they successfully defended their titles for the first time in a rematch. On April 15, both Primo and Carlito were drafted back to the Raw brand as part of the 2009 supplemental draft. They lost the championship at the Bash to the team of Edge and Chris Jericho, who were added to a standard tag team match between the Colón Den's and the Legacy moments before the match started. Carlito and Primo invoked their rematch clause the next night on Raw, but were unsuccessful. On the July 6 episode of Raw, they lost again to Edge and Jericho, and afterwards Carlito attacked Primo, leading to a feud between the two which ended after Carlito defeated Primo on the August 3 Raw. Primo then mainly featured on WWE Superstars. That year at the Night of Champions pay-per-view, Primo and Carlito both competed in a six-pack challenge for the United States Championship. In that match Carlito was pinned by the champion at the time Kofi Kingston. Singles competition. On the May 6, 2010 episode of WWE Superstars, Primo turned heel when his brother Carlito stopped their match against each other and asked him to work as a team again and not listen to the fans. On the May 10 episode of Raw, Primo and Carlito attacked R-Truth for Ted DiBiase, who paid them straight after the attack. The team was split up again after Carlito was released from his contract on May 21. Primo then wrestled mainly on WWE Superstars again. Primo was one of the WWE pros for the third season, with AJ as his NXT rookie. A romance angle started between them. On the November 23 episode of WWE NXT, AJ was eliminated from the competition. On the January 27, 2011 episode of WWE Superstars, Primo and Zack Ryder announced they had formed a heel tag team, then defeated David Hart Smith and Yoshi Tatsu. They called themselves DZP and defeated Smith and Tatsu in a rematch. They then went a losing streak before slowly dissolving. On the April 11 episode of Raw, Primo lost to the debuting Sin Cara, teaming with Epico. On the November 11 episode of SmackDown, Primo returned to the brand by accompanying his real-life cousin Epico and Hunico to the ring for their tag team match against the Usos. Primo then began teaming with Epico, with Rosa Mendes as their manager, where they defeated the Usos on the November 17 episode of WWE Superstars. They began a feud with WWE Tag Team Champions Air Boom, defeating them in tag team and singles matches. On December 18 at the tables, ladders and chairs, Primo and Epico failed to capture the WWE Tag Team Championships from Air Boom. The feud continued in singles and non-title matches, with both teams trading wins. At a Raw Live event on January 15, 2012, in Oakland, California, Primo and Epico defeated Air Boom to win the WWE Tag Team Championship. The following night on Raw, Primo and Epico successfully defended their titles against Air Boom in a rematch. On the February 27 edition of Raw, Primo and Epico successfully defended their titles in a triple threat tag team match against the teams of Kofi Kingston and R-Truth and Dolph Ziggler and Jack Swagger. In the pre-show of WrestleMania XXVII, Primo and Epico successfully defended their titles against the Usos and Justin Gabriel and Tyson Kidd in a triple threat tag team match. On the April 30 episode of Raw, Primo and Epico lost the tag team titles to Kofi Kingston and R-Truth. In May, Primo, Epico and Mendes joined AEW's talent agency. However, at the No Way Out pay-per-view in June, AEW turned on them during their number one contender Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match and aligned with the Primetime Players. The following night on Raw, Primo and Epico defeated the Primetime Players by countout after Unal and Young walked out of the match. The feud continued on Superstars, where Epico lost to Young and Primo beat Unal in singles matches. At Money in the Bank, Primo and Epico defeated Unal and Young. The feud ended in August when AEW was released from WWE. At the Survivor Series pay-per-view, Primo took part in a 10-man elimination tag team match, but was eliminated by Justin Gabriel. Primo and Epico could not find any wins after August 2012, and by the first SmackDown of 2013, Primo was on a 20-match losing streak, and Epico was at 17. On the January 9, 2013 episode of NXT, Primo and Epico broke their losing streaks with a win over Bo Dallas and Michael McGillicuddy. However, Dallas and McGillicuddy gained revenge by defeating Primo and Epico in the first round of the NXT Tag Team Championship tournament to crown the inaugural champions. Los Matadors. On the August 19, 2013 episode of Raw, a vignette was aired introducing a new tag team that will be known as Los Matadors, which will be Primo and Epico wrestling as Masked Matadors. Later, on the September 30 edition of Raw, Primo and Epico debuted as Los Matadors, as a face of a team of two masked Spanish bullfighters with El Torito as mascot and faced 3 megabytes in a winning effort. On April 6, 2014 Los Matadors would face off against the Usos, Rybaxel, and the Real Americans on the WrestleMania XXX pre-show in a fatal 4-way elimination match for the WWE Tag Team Championship. Los Matadors would be unsuccessful in their bid to become champions however, when they were eliminated first. On June 23 on WWE.com reported that Fernando was injured at a live event that past weekend. As a result, Diego and El Torito started a feud with Bo Dallas. At Battleground, Diego competed in a 19-man battle royal for the vacant WWE Intercontinental Championship but was eliminated by Ryback. Diego defeated Fandango on the July 28 edition of Raw, while being accompanied to the ring by the Slayers. On the September 9 edition of Main Event, Los Matadors faced the NXT Tag Team Champions The Ascension in a losing effort. In March 2015, they defeated the New Day to end what was a fairly long losing streak. Los Matadors were in a fatal 4-way match for the WWE Tag Team Championship on the WrestleMania 31 pre-show, but failed to claim the titles. Diego participated in the second annual Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, but got eliminated by Kane. After months of chasing the WWE Tag Team Championship, Los Matadors fell out and seemingly broke up. as they no longer appeared on TV. In wrestling finishing moves, as Diego, hammerlock leg sweep DDT, backstabber. As Primo, backstabber adopted from his brother. Signature moves, diving headbutt, diving or springboard crossbody, dropkick, sometimes from the top rope or while springboarding, elbow drop, figure 4 leg lock Independent Circuit, 2013 present, Hurricane Runner, sometimes preceded by corner handstand, leapfrog body guillotine, leaping back elbow, leg drop, sometimes from the second rope, leg sweep, monkey flip, Russian leg sweep, slingshot senton, springboard brain chop, springboard senton, stunner Independent Circuit, tornado DDT, turnbuckle climb into a rebounded corkscrew senton. Managers, the Bella Twins, AJ, Rosa Mendez, AW, El Torito, The Slayers. Entrance themes, Cool by Jim Johnston, O Puerto Rico performed by Vinny and Ray with vocals by Marlon Gima, copyright Nez and composed by Jim Johnston, Barcode by Jack Elliott, Enchanted Al by Jim Johnston, Ola copyright by Jim Johnston. Championships and accomplishments. Florida Championship Wrestling, Florida Tag Team Championship with Eric Pérez, copyright Res. Funkin' Conservatory, FC Tag Team Championship with Carlos Colón Sr. Pro Wrestling Illustrated, PWI ranked him number 72 of the best 500 singles wrestlers in the PWI 500 in 2012. World Wrestling Council, WWC Puerto Rico Heavyweight Championship, WWC Universal Heavyweight Championship, WWC World Junior Heavyweight Championship, WWC World Tag Team Championship with Carlito Colón. World Wrestling Entertainment / WWE, World Tag Team Championship with Carlito, WWE Tag Team Championship with Carlito and Apico. See also, Professional Wrestling in Puerto Rico. References. External links. Diego's profile on WWE.com, Online World of Wrestling profile.